Sebastian Vettel, four-time world champion, Red Bull legend, and one of the most widely respected voices in contemporary Formula One. Years out of the sport behind the wheel, it appears that Vettel might be returning in a sensational manner, but not in the manner fans had anticipated. With Helmut Marko's future under question and the internal organization of Red Bull in flux, Vettel stands ready to assume a leadership role within Red Bull's junior team. What would be the implications for the team? What would happen to Red Bull under his stewardship? And might this be the beginning of a new era for the Austrian outfit? Sebastian Vettel is said to be gearing up for a comeback into Formula One, but not on the track. Instead, the German driver is set to take over a major leadership position. Instead of looking to secure a racing spot, the German is said to be up for the role of taking over from Helmut Marko as the chief of Red Bull's junior driver program, a position with massive power in determining the sport's future. This possible step is made at a time when Red Bull is going through dramatic internal transformation. Following decades of domination and tension, the team is in the post-power struggle environment. With Marko being 80 years old and internal fissures widening, the moment for a fresh leader may have come. Marko himself has conceded this prospect. Speaking bluntly, he described Vettel as the perfect heir, praising the German driver's dedication to motorsport and maturity. Although he insisted no talks had yet been held, he admitted there were numerous applicants, and Vettel was definitely one of the most eligible. Vettel's preparation for a future role has not escaped notice. He just completed a 4-day Harvard leadership program specifically designed for agents and managers, indicating that he is serious about a career in management. Though some critics were skeptical of the duration of the course, the message could not be clearer. Vettel is preparing himself for a new era. Additionally, what he does outside of racing illustrates what a leader he is. He's been involved with supporting young go-karting drivers in Saudi Arabia and encouraging more women to become involved in motorsport. He's also taken the time to raise awareness about environmental issues and social causes, evidencing a well-rounded concern that does not often come across in the paddock. If Vettel were to inherit the Red Bull junior team, an initial adjustment would be the team's talent management philosophy. Red Bull has traditionally been seen as merciless with its young drivers. Examples of Liam Lawson's restricted opportunities, only 2 races, both at tracks he had never competed on, are representative of the hard-nosed culture. While that wasn't enough to save his seat, it did impress as Lawson qualified P8 in the sprint race at China, showing he had something. However, under the system in place, he wasn't provided the room to grow. This is precisely the type of strategy Vettel may seek to alter. Vettel has always shown a level of empathy and psychological sensitivity that stands in stark contrast to Marko's hard-boiled brutishness. When McLaren driver Lando Norris spoke candidly about his mental health issues, Marko was quick to criticize him. Vettel, meanwhile, publicly complimented Norris for his strength, describing it as something positive rather than a flaw. This change of heart may prove to be decisive. Most insiders contend that Red Bull's internal culture has become increasingly poisonous, particularly in the wake of the company struggle between the Austrian and Thai ownership groups. High-profile defections to McLaren and Aston Martin have only contributed to the uncertainty. In this environment, Vettel might be a breath of fresh air, particularly to youthful prospects. He would undoubtedly foster a more supportive, holistic atmosphere, in which drivers are not judged on their lap times alone, but on development, consistency, and mental toughness. In hindsight, it's obvious that Red Bull's second driver has been an Achilles heel for a long time. None of his teammates since Daniel Ricciardo's exit has been able to push Max Verstappen hard on a consistent basis. Pierre Gasly lasted just 13 races. Alex Albon managed a season and a half. Both are now doing great elsewhere, Gasly with Alpine and Albon with Williams. This is proof enough that to fail with Red Bull is not to lack talent. Vettel's mission, if he accepts it, might be to repair this broken pipeline. Rather than burning through young drivers, the emphasis might be placed on long-term development and bespoke career paths. This ideology would be perfectly suited to Red Bull's use of homegrown talent. For one thing, drivers like Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz all started out in its junior ranks. But replacing Marko's shoes will not be simple. His talent spotting is the stuff of legend, having drafted in-generation drivers to the sport. Yet with passing time, all dynasties have to adapt. The question is actually whether Red Bull is willing to adapt as well, and whether Vettel is the man to do it. Vettel's professional relationship with team principal Christian Horner may also be the determining factor. While Horner's relationship with Marko has at times been volatile, he and Vettel have ever remained on good terms with each other. Horner may view in Vettel not only a replacement for Marko, but also a long-term foundation piece in Red Bull's planning, particularly as the team stands at a critical juncture. That is the junction of 2026, when new rules kick in. Red Bull's future after that date is unclear, particularly with Verstappen's allegiance under threat. His rapport with Marko is no secret, and when word emerged of Marko's departure, Verstappen sent out a chilling warning: if Marko departs, he may not be far behind. But if Marko were to go on his own terms, and with a replacement like Vettel behind him, there's a good bet Verstappen might rethink. Vettel, with his racing background and personal honor, might gain the Dutchman's confidence. What makes this situation all the more intriguing is the potential for Vettel to spearhead rebuilding the team from scratch. If Verstappen were to leave after 2025, Vettel might be responsible for finding and developing the next crop of Red Bull stars. He would be able to repair what's ever been faulty, the team failing to identify a good second driver and discarding potential talent too soon. Sebastian Vettel might be Red Bull's new anchor, a visionary leader with vision, empathy, and experience. He understands the pressures of Formula One through and through, and he knows what young drivers need to succeed. In an age where mental health, team cohesion, and sustainable growth are emerging as much a priority as pure speed, Vettel's leadership might remake Red Bull from the ground up. And let's not forget, this is a team that has been built around one superstar for years. But as history shows, no single driver, no matter how talented, can win both titles alone. If Vettel steps in and shifts the focus back to building a team, both Constructors' and Drivers' Championships could be within reach again, even in a post-Verstappen era. Vettel's return, if and when it occurs, would be more than a symbol. It would be a statement: Red Bull is prepared to grow up, to evolve, and to construct for the future. Should Red Bull substitute Helmut Marko with Sebastian Vettel? Would the four-time world champion introduce a new philosophy to the team? Or is the Red Bull system too hard to alter? Let us hear your opinion in the comments below. And if you like this explanation, do be sure to click on the video on your screen for more detailed F1 analysis.